Alright guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. Today I'm going to be walking you through the Figma user interface, Figma UI. Just showing you everything you can do on Figma, just what everything means and what are the tools that are present there and what do you use them for, basically. So let's dive in. So the Figma user interface, or here on out, I'm going to be referring to it as UI, which means user interface. That's what you can see. It's divided mainly into four. You have the first part, which is what you can see. We call that the canvas. Yeah, what you can see here, this white space that you have here, we call that canvas. And then that's the first part. The second part is what you can see in your left hand side here. I call that layers panel or properties panel. Right? And I call that the layers panel or assets panel. That's where you see your layers and all the assets that you are using in design, right? So and then what you have on the top here is called the menu panel. That's where you see your options, and this menu is it affects everything that you are working on the platform. As you are using the menu, the properties panel changes. Now this, like I said just now, is the properties panel on your right hand side. You call that the properties panel because you see the properties of what you are working on the platform. So I'll move on now to explain what each of those segments are. And I'll start with the first one, obviously, which is your canvas. Just what you have here is where you see your whatever it is you are working with. This is where you see it happens, where the magic actually happens. And then the layers panel. This is what you have here, or the assets panel. That's where you see the layers that you're working with, and then the assets that you also have on the Figma side. So you can move and edit and rename them on this side. Don't worry, as we go on this journey, you are going to use it very often, and then you are going to get more familiar. So the first tool that we have here is the move tool, and that's it. The shortcut for that is B. You just tap B on your keyboard, bam. It takes you to your move tool, and then you can use that to move things around. But since we don't have anything here, there's nothing to move around. If I click and drag, there's nothing for me to move around. So it's just the empty screen. And then the next one you have is your frame tool, which also houses the section and the slides tool. You might not be needing the section for now because we're just getting started. I mean, this is for newbie. And the slides tool, but you definitely need the frame tool. The frame tool used for drawing frames. As you can see it, this is a frame. Now a frame is as name implies, the frame. You can have things inside the frame. You can just draw. You can even draw another frame inside your frame. So that's your frame tool, just for drawing frames. And as we design, you see the use case for each of these things that we're working on and each of these things that we're using. So I can tap delete key on my keyboard, and then that frame is there. And I can, as you can see, using my move tool now, I can move this around and it works. And I can also use it to resize it. I come to the edge of the frame or any corner of it, I just click and drag. You can see I can use that to what's it called now, to resize it. Now if I want to resize it proportionally, I'll just hold down my shift key, and then you resize this proportionally in, drag out, resize this proportionally. But if I don't want that, if I want it to be freehand, I just leave my shift key, and then this is what I see. This is drama that happens. Quite interesting, right? So don't worry, as we go on, you're going to see some more interesting stuff. So that's that with the frame tool. You can rename the frame by just double tapping on the frame one, on the frame name that you have here, and just name it let's go frame, right? So that's that about the frame. Like I said, you get to see a lot of it as we go. Now the next tool that we have here is the shape tool, and if you drop down, you can see different shapes that you have there. The rectangle, and the shortcut for that is R. Pretty easy. The line shortcut is L. The arrow shortcut is Shift L. Notice the difference, Shift L and L. We have the O for the ellipse tool, and then ellipse. The ellipse is round, so O just works. And then polygon, we have the star, and then place image. So let's try them out. So let's tap on the rectangle, and shortcut for that is R. Remember? So I just click and drag, and then you can see that that's your rectangle. in it. And then now you might ask, so what's the difference between a frame and a rectangle? Well, the rectangle cannot house stuff, but the frame can house stuff. You can put this frame inside the rectangle and you can see it goes inside it, but you can't put a frame inside a rectangle. Nah, that doesn't work. And you can't also put another shape or another rectangle. Let's duplicate this and see if it can go inside it. To duplicate, you can just hold your Option key on your keyboard and then you can see the cursor changes when I hold and release my Option key. The cursor changes. Now you see you can duplicate. Click and drag. You have duplicated that, and then you can also resize. Remember, just dragging each of the any of the ends, and then or any of the corners, and then you can click and drag. You can also click and drag on the sides, but that limits the way you can resize. You also want to resize proportionally. Same thing applies. Hold your Shift key and then resize proportionally. So back to the first point that we're making about rectangles not being able to house stuff. So let's bring this in. You can see it doesn't stay inside. Okay, let's change the color so we'll be very sure of that. So you can see the properties panel. As I click on this, you can see the property of this. The properties you are seeing here are the properties of this rectangle that I'm working on. Notice if I click on this rectangle, can you see that the properties change? Because they are different. The properties change as I click on it. So this property panel is what you are working on at the moment. So let's change the fill of this. Like I explained earlier, fill is the color that you have inside it, while your stroke, or when we get to the properties panel, that's what this explained now. Stroke is the color that you have around your object, while effect and export, we'll get to that later. But for things that we need right now, you can see the rectangle. You can see the color of the rectangle that what you have. If you click on this, you open up this color palette where you can see and change the color of your object, depending on whatever color you like. And you can also change it if you have the X code you want to use. Say for example 3A 3A 3A. That's for a good shade of gray, deep gray, and that's an X code that I know, so I can just punch it in and then go. You can also see document colors here. These are colors that I've been used in this document earlier. Now if you created a new document, just like, okay, let's create a new document here. You tap the plus icon, that's a new file you want to create. So you might not see these document colors. Alright, so these document colors are particular to this document that I've created. So I can change the color and then let's leave that at that for now. So let's take this bright green and let's let that be the color, just to portray the point we're trying to make. Now you can see this stands above it, it doesn't enter into it. Now compare that to when we are putting this inside. Can you see that this is inside the frame and not just on top of it as we have on the rectangle? Notice it's not entering it, but in this case it enters the frame when you are dealing with the frame. So that's the major difference between a frame and a rectangle. Now application wise, you will see its application, different cases where you can try that out and you see the differences that you have between the rectangle and the frame. So without wasting much time on that, so let's try out the ellipse tool. You can try out this one at your leisure. Many things you need to learn. So ellipse tool, and then I can just click and drag just like the other, and then you can see I can draw a freehand circle and ellipse. But if you want to make sure it's a circle, now what makes it a circle when it has equal radius, right? All around. So I just click on hold my Shift key, and then I draw a perfect circle. I can drag in and out and then just draw. Wow, I left the Shift key before releasing my mouse, so that's why we have that. But let me draw it again. Shortcut for an ellipse is O, so I tap O and then I draw. Hold my Shift key, make sure it's a perfect circle. Voila. Now notice that I also have the width and the height here. I can change those from here. Instead of having to click and drag, I can as well just change the options here. Let's just make this 400. Now notice this link icon. So this makes sure that your proportions are constrained. That It is the ratio that it currently is. So if I uncheck that, if I change this to 350, notice the width does not change to 350. But if I had it unchecked, let me go back. If I had it checked and I change one of these options, the other is also going to align. So let's make this 350 and see the other one align as well. So intricacies that you would have to check out and just in your free time, just learn how they work. But basically, that's that. So those are shapes. Let me see if we play with another shape. Let's try the polygon, and then I'll just click and drag over here. You can see the basic polygon, the smallest polygon you can have, has 3 sides, and that's a triangle. So I just click and drag and I hold my shift key to make it proportional, or leave my shift key and just however I wish. Now this works this way, and then now notice what we have here. Like I said, the properties panel changes depending on what you're working on. Now notice when we had the square here, there was nothing else underneath this. But when we click on the triangle, you can see this shows you the number of sides that it has, count of the number of sides. So if I increase this to 4, you can see the number of sides has changed. And if I increase this to say 8 for an octagon, and then you see I have a very good octagon here. Let me go back to 3, or let me just duplicate this option, drag, click on option and drag on my Mac. But on your PC, you might have that should be Alt key here. So that's that, and then change this to 3 sides. You can see the triangle. Now you can also change the color of this. So having that there, having settled that, so that's that about shape 2. You can mess around with a lot of things and just see how it will work. So moving on, let's move to the next tool, which is your pen tool, which has enclosed in it, okay, called creation tool. We have enclosed in it a pen and pencil. Don't really use pencil that much, but I use pen a lot. Now the pen, you can just click and click and click and click and click and click and click. You can use that to draw shapes or just draw lines. If you come to the end of it, you can see it's magnetically dragging you to, close the loop. I can go on and just do whatever I like, but once I get to the end, you can see it's telling me to close the loop. Once I click on that, this becomes the shape. Now you can see it has a stroke, but it has no fill. So I can tap on the trail icon and add a fill to it. Just change that and see, oh yeah, it's an object. I can also change the stroke. Make the stroke, let's make it green, the shade of green. But you can't see that much because the weight of the stroke is small. That's what you can see here. You can see this color, and then you can see the opacity of the color 100%. And if you want to hide the stroke, you don't want it to see, voila, you can see that. But if you want to increase the size, this is the weight or size of the stroke. You can just click and drag here. Okay, now you can see it's more visible. Click and drag here, or if you have a figure that you just want, you can just type in there. Let's try 20. Alright, so that's that. And then now the orientation of your stroke is also important. If you want it to be in the center or inside, you can see the difference inside, outside. Now when the stroke is, can you see this is where the line is? This is where the line of the stroke is. This is where the line of the shape is. This is where it ends. So the stroke in this case is outside it. But let's try it inside it. Now this is where it ends. Now see where the stroke is on the inside. Now let's try the center. In the center, the stroke is in the middle. Here you can see. So it shares it on inside and on the outside. So a lot of intricacies there, and there are some more options that you have here. You can change the stroke style to solid or to dash. Increase dash size, say a lot of things that you can mess with there. You can change dash style, make it rounded, or make the join rounded. A lot of things you can mess around with it. That's just showing the complexity of the stroke and the feel as well. So that's that, dealing with that. And then going ahead, we have dealt with the shape tool, or the pen tool rather. We have dealt with the shape tool, we have dealt with the pen tool, we have dealt with the frame tool, we have dealt with the move tool. I mean, you're going to be using the move tool a lot. Just click and drag, and you are good with that. So moving on to the next tool, which is your text or your type tool. right? So you just click on that, or for shortcuts, just type T, and then you just click on the canvas, and then you can see this cursor, the blinking cursor, telling you, come on, bro, let's type something. And then I can just go, lazy, about that, lazy dog jump over fence. And that way, you have your text. You just click and type. You can also go again, tap on T, you click and you type, my name is Yodo. That's my name. So there are several other options that you can deal with. Notice how the properties panel has changed, because properties panel is contextual. Depends on what you're working on that determines how your properties panel works. Alright, so in this case, you can see over here, this is the font style that you are using. So I've chose entire. I could as well change it to Irish Grover in that. Or I could ITL Devangari, or change it to Indiana or Italiana. Different font sizes, and you can change. You can see the different type of fonts. You can even choose go on to check on Google fonts installed by you, or just popular fonts. I like to use all fonts, so gives me a lot of flexibility. Now the fonts that I love to use a lot, there are some that have done it for me that I really love. I love Inter. As I do that, so I'll just change them here. I love Inter. I'll just type them out and just look for them and select. I love Inter a lot. I love Helvetica. Sorry about that. Now Helvetica. So let's check out the looks like. These are my go-to sans serif fonts. Helvetica. Then I love SF Pro a lot. I use this a whole lot in my projects. Entire vertical SF Pro, you can never go with them for sans serif fonts. And for serif fonts, I love Didot a lot. I love Didot, and I use lots. Coming Didot. Another one that I love, I'm trying to remember its name now. I think it starts from DM Serif. Fantastic. I love this text a lot. DM Serif is another gold font I love so much. Look, Katie. And I'm sure in my previous video I explained different between serif, sans serif font, and those things. If you have not watched that, go back my channel and just go through when I talked about fundamentals of design. I spoke a lot about typography and the things you need to learn on that. So that's for text too, and there are some other authors that I want to notice. So I talked about font style, and next is font weight. Different fonts have different font weights that you can mess around with: italics, bold, extra bold, and the likes. And then next is the font size. You can just choose any of them over here, or just choose to type in the one you want. 16, yeah, good to go. Now the next is the line height. Now you can't see so much difference of the line height here now, but if I break this into this, yeah, so you can see the line height is the distance between this first line and the second line and the third line. So I made it 100%, but you might not use percentage. You can just use any typing. Any font size, any size. I could just make 16 without the percentage and still 100%, 16. But I like to use, for most of my designs, if I'm typing a long body of text, I love to use 100%. 120 or 150%, but I'm typing a long body of text. Just to, and that involves using smaller font size, like 14, 16. Now this looks big now because I zoomed in. If I zoom out, it's actually very small, right? So, but for large For headers and stuff like that, I love to use 100%. But if I'm writing a long body of text, I use it at 100%. So that's the line height. Now for the letter spacing, you can experiment, but the one that works for me for a large body of text like this as well, because you want your text to be visible, you want people to see it. So you want it to be legible, you want it to be readable. So for that, I normally use 0% for large body of text, but for headers, I like to place it around, depending on the font now, remember. So depending on the font, I like to use my 2% or sometimes minus 5%. Some font types originally have, large letter size, letter space. For some, I use minus 5% and it works very well. But for DM serif, it doesn't look so good. So I'll just go with 0% and that works fine. So that's that. And then these others, I not be using them that much. Paragraph spacing now, but this you'll be using a lot. Now this is auto width, auto height, fixed size. Now when we get to more detailed designs, their use cases will be very pretty obvious to you when we get there. But don't worry, but get on this channel, we'll get there definitely. Now, if you have not subscribed to my YouTube channel, make sure you subscribe, because a lot of gems are coming out on this platform. Things that I learned on my own, things that you would need as a newbie. As I'm saying, I tell you a lot of things, so make sure you don't miss out. Week on week, I'm always dropping content for you, so make sure you don't miss out on this. Very, very important. So, next we're going to be looking at the alignment, text alignment. So this is automatically left aligned because easier to read. Now, depending on the context you're working with, you might need it to be center aligned like you have here, or you need it to be right aligned. There are several other options that you have here. You can also have justified, different ones, and then for text decoration. Now this shows you more options. You can underline, you can strike through, or you can make sure there is no decoration for case, uppercase, lowercase, title case, different ones that you can have like that. So these are the ones that would basically concern you at this early stage. So I'll want to just focus on this for now, right? So moving on, that's basically what you need to know on text too. As we work on you see a lot of things and we'll learn a lot. Now, notice what we have here now. The properties panel, the layers panel has been populated with all these that we have. Now, notice as I click on each of the items, it's highlighted on the layers panel. So that's the layer that you have there. If I click on Inter, you can see Inter is highlighted. If I go over here and click on the shapes that I did over here, you see them highlighted as well. These shapes, each of them. Now, buttressing to you the importance of the layers panel, so you can see each of the elements you are working with. If you need one to be in front of the other, you can just rearrange, or you need one to go to the back and just rearrange and see how things work, right? So that is that. As I said earlier, you can see that this one side is actually very small, pretty small, but because we zoomed in, it looks quite big. So that's that. Now, the next tool we're working on is the resources tool. You can see this is for showing you components, plugins, and widgets. Don't worry, as time goes on, as we begin to do design exercises, you'll be seeing the use of each of these guys and they'll come in pretty handy. So, and then the next is your hand tool. You can just use that to pan across your artboard. Just pan across your artboard. You don't want to move anything. You want to move the artboard itself, right? Or the canvas itself. So just use that to pan across. And then the comment tool is what you have here. You just click. If you have an elaborate design, just want to drop an information for say the developer or the reviewer. Just say, so this is just a test run, and then you can send that message, and then it gets populated there. You can see that. So I can just hide the comments, or you can go just hide it or resolve it. Good. So that's that about the comment. You can see all that. So like I explained, the property panel is contextual, works on what you are working on at the moment to display the information that pertains to that item that you have selected, and then you can work around it. Now, the other part of this, now what we have been exploring the other time, all this while, is the properties panel for design because you are designing. But when you want to move to prototyping, which you go on to see later in the course of our working together, we'll have to prototype. Now that's to show you the movement and interactions and styles of things that you would, like I said, for future. So I wouldn't want you to bother yourself a lot about it for now. Now you want to make sure that you know how the tools work, what you can use them for. So this is basically me explaining to you what the Figma interface does. And then from here, you have clicked out of any artboard or any item. You are not selecting any item. You click out. You can see the name of your file, so you can edit and let's see, design with the Yodo demo. Nah, I'm not a fan of that, so I'll just delete that. Design with the Yodo works perfectly. So I can also drop down and show version history, publish, a lot of things that you can work with there. And this is just to show my profile. This is me, I'm the one working on it, it's the Yodo. And then this is for me to share. If you want to share your design with someone, you can just share it, click on this share icon, and then you can add some people's email addresses, or just copy the link and send. I think my network is messy at the moment, that's why you can see that. And then this is the prototype. They present what's it called, icon. That's to show your design in another tab. You want to show how it looks like. That's when you have worked on prototypes, so you just want to do that. And then this is zoom in, zoom out, a lot of options there. So if you want to create a new file, you just have to click on this plus icon here, tap plus, and then new file, tap, and then you can create more files, and that is that. So I believe that you learned a lot in this session. I just wanted to go through what are the things that you see on Figma, what are the basic tools that you have here in Figma that you can work around with. I believe that with this very short intro, you'll be able to do a lot. But before we go, let's just design something very basic. So let's design a text input, very basic. So I like to start with my text, and I just name this text input like that. And then from there, I like to use my auto layout a lot. Sorry, pardon me, I love it. So I just do Shift A. We'll be learning about that in our next tutorial, in our next exercise. So don't worry about that for now. What I want you to do in this tutorial is to practice a lot about the tools and the options that you have here on Figma and just make things work. So we're working on text input. So I can drag this out. Now with my auto layout, I'll just align it to the left, just to make it look like a text input like we have for the sign up or sign in page, right? So let's make this, let's call it full name. Full name. And let's give it a stroke. Remember, I come on stroke here, and then I tap on plus icon. Bam. Now can you see it's looking like an input field now? But let's adjust this a bit. Let's make this 12. Just to make it look give it room to breathe. That's full name. And if I want to give it a corner radius, I just tap on this. Notice I can add corner radius to this. Let's make it 4 corner radius of 4 pixels. Looks good. So I will just click and drag. I need to add a fill as well. White fill. Now good. Looks like it. So I want to duplicate. Remember, when I say duplicate once, hold your option key and drag. Hold your option key and drag. Or for Windows users, hold your alternate key, alt key and drag. So full name, let's set this to email address. Looking good. And let's drag again. Option, drag. Now once you've dragged once, you can duplicate that by clicking on Command D or Control D for Windows users. Command D, and then you just keep duplicating, a lot like that. So I can name this, edit this to phone number, password, depending on the information that you need. You can even put age, a lot of things, and you can do all that in your design. So pretty much this. I believe that with this, you have gotten the hang of a couple of things. I want you to practice. So I want you to design this. Let's put this in a frame. So I tap my F key, put this in a frame, and then good. Looks good. Should we give it the corner radius? Let's give the corner radius. And let's give the corner radius. So then look good. Looks good. Now something else that I think I missed out was alignment, not text alignment, object alignment. Now that's what you had here at the top here. And you see that. So I clicked on this. I want to align it inside this frame. Now alignment works in respect to what you added inside. So if you add this inside the frame, so it will align with respect to that frame. So if I align it to the right of the frame, can you see it moves, to the left. It moves to the extreme left of the frame. If I align it to the center, it moves to the center of the frame. If I align it to the right, it moves to the right hand side of the frame. Now if I align it to the top, notice that it moves to the top. Let me align it to the center and top. Looks good. Center and center, vertical center. It has come here to the center, but I don't think I want that. Let's move to the top. If you want it to get to the bottom, align bottom. So several things that you need to take cognizance of there. So I'm tapping my Ctrl Z to bring this. So I'll align this also to the center, or I can just highlight all of them, align them horizontal centers, and then bring them to the center like we had here. And then this looks good. Or should we just put something else? Let's add a button to it. So I'll go to my option key, drag to the bottom, and then I want to make this stand out. Let it look like a button instead of like an input. So to do that, I think I'll just make it a fill, add a fill that is, let's say, black, and then let's take the white, and then make it center aligned. So first thing on my list, I make it center aligned, and then let's change the fill. Let's make the fill black. Now as that is done, you can't see your text anymore in it, so let's leave it here. Let's edit the edge first. Let's make that white so that it contrasts very well and you can see it in your design. So I make this black. Sorry, looks good as black, and then I want to remove the stroke. And I want to edit that to be pitch black 000. Good. Now this looks almost like a sign up form, but what else do we add? Let's do the title at the top. Let's make it, let's call it sign up, and that looks good. For now, this is not what you're gonna present to a client, but for now, for a beginner, this looks good, right? So let's tweak this to make it look more header-ish. Let's make it somehow bold. Let's make it tidy. Let's align it to the center, and then sign up. Looks good. Align to the center, and then let's try these guys. Let's try them down. Looks good. So let's rename this sign up, and that brings us to the end of today's session. We're able to design something. You're proud of us. Design something. So with that, you know how to use basic user interface of Figma and design something as simple as this simple sign up modal, right? Nothing serious, just basics for you to play around. So I want you to design this and then shoot to me in my email. You can shoot to me or add them as comments, however you can do to relate with me, and let me see what you have done so far. Now this is strictly for beginners. If you have designed before, might not be a good shot, or you could just send to me on my Twitter at I think that is my Twitter. But Twitter should be at IYODO.p, I think, or underscore p. Well, so you can send that to me and tag me and let me see what you have done. Something simple, not too serious, but just for you to get the hang of what you have been, right? So thank you guys, and I'll see you in the next video. But before you go, I know you have been waiting. If you have not signed up or subscribed rather to my YouTube channel, this is the time to subscribe. There's a whole lot for me to learn here. If you want to learn about product design, it's a slow journey from being a noob to being an expert. So just follow me and then get there together. Alright? Thank you guys. I'll see you in the next one.